everyone, my name is Laura. If you are new here, welcome. If you're not, welcome back. Thanks for clicking on this video today. So today I'm going to be unboxing some fun Hoya cuttings for you, and then I will also be building out a cute little Hoya terrarium. Sorry, this is all like fingerprint smudged. But I'll be building out this Hoya terrarium as well to grow out my new little Hoya cuttings. So I will start by unboxing the Hoya I got. I don't remember how many there are. Every time I try to guess like a number of like how many plants I'll be showing you or like how many plants I got, I'm always off, so I'm not even gonna try to guess, but I will be just like plucking these out of here and showing them to you. So first one is Hoya Lamonica. So I'm trying to figure out how to do this because I'm not super well versed. As much as I love Hoya, I'm not super well versed in all the Hoya types. So I feel like if I pull it out of its little bag and then separate it from its like tag, I'm gonna forget what it is forever and ever. So I guess I'll take it out of the bag and then show it to you and then stick it back. So here is the Hoya Lamonica. Super pretty, big leaves. I like the veination on it as well. It's got some good like aerial roots starting, so I feel like that won't be too hard to root up. There you go. Okay. Let's stick it back in the bag it came in before I forget what it is. Okay, next one is a little Hoya Pg04. And if I pronounce any of these wrong, sorry, I'm not great with pronouncing plant names, and that's just how it is, I guess. Little Hoya Pg04. And the next one is Hoya Walliniana. Nope, Walliniana. And this one has really awesome red sun stressing. So this one looks super cool. It's almost like a purpley red sun stressing. That's a cool one. And all of these Hoya I got through a sale that someone did on a Facebook plant group. In my area, there's like an all Hoya group, and so someone did one on there. This next one is Hoya Pg04. I believe that's a hybrid between a couple Hoyas, but I don't know which two it is. But it has little taco-shaped leaves with little red sun-stressed borders. Pg04. And one thing I love about Hoya, and like why I keep getting a ton of Hoya, is because you can get them pretty small, like teeny tiny little plant, and grow it out, but they grow so slow that like you can just enjoy them while they're growing, and they don't take up a ton of space like other plants do. And this last one is Hoya Epc 1001, and this is a really cool one. It reminds me, I think it's of like the Calistophylla, maybe is what I'm thinking of, the ones with like the dark green veination. And so those are all the cuttings that I got in the sale, but I also got two like fully or like rooting. I don't know how rooted they are, but they're rooting at least, so they have some roots that I'm also going to be putting into my terrarium that I'm going to be building here today, because these are all in perlite, and I've never rooted plants in perlite, and so I feel more comfortable just tossing it into a sphagnum terrarium, which is what I'm most comfortable with. So this first one is Hoyasipotengensis. I believe I already have one of these. Let me open it. You can't see anything. So that's Hoyasipotengensis. And if I remember, and I know some of you asked me, like I've been asked this a couple of times, to put the names of the plants like on the bottom of the screen. Half the time I'm like editing in a rush while I'm also trying to like do a million other things, so I never get around to it, but I really will try. So hopefully I remember to put the names at the bottom of the screens for all of these. And if I don't, I'm sorry. I try to remember. This next one is Hoya Croniana Super Silver, and I do have one of these already, which you may have seen in my last Hoya unboxing. I think it was in my last Hoya unboxing, but the node like turned like a weird dark brown color, and then the plant started rooting from the leaf, and so I don't think that the node is actually rooting, so I don't think it's actually going to grow into a plant. Since Hoya leaves can root, but they won't grow unless they have a node. So I just got a new one just in case. So Hoya Croniana Super Silver, after that long explanation. So those are the plants, the Hoya that I got. I'm going to now be building out my terrarium for you. So I got this in the Target dollar section, and I don't know, I think they still should have them. I don't know when this video is going to come out, but if it comes out before the end of 2021, which is my plan, then yeah, they should still be, sorry, I'm trying to take the little stickers off of them so I can open it. And that's how I get fingerprints all over it. They should still be in stock because I was just at Target like 3 days ago, and today's the 18th, and they had a ton of them, and I got 2 more. So I have 3 of these, so maybe I'll make more videos of what I'm gonna do with the other 2, because I think I have fun plans for the other 2. But yeah, run to your Target dollar section. These were only $5, and they're super cool for building out a little planty terrarium. I have my terrarium in 2 separate pieces now, and I'm going to switch up my camera angle so you can actually see what I'm doing. I don't know if this is any better, so it might be worse. Sorry. But I have Sphagnum Moss, and I'm just gonna pour it in here. This is just, I think this is long fiber Sphagnum Moss. And this is all dry. I haven't used or hydrated this Sphagnum Moss yet, and I do reuse Sphagnum Moss, which some people don't love, but this is all new Sphagnum Moss, so don't come for me. So I'm gonna fill up, I think that's good. That should be good. It's a couple inches in there of Sphagnum Moss. So that's what that's looking like so far. And I think I'm gonna try to use distilled water, and I have a little squirt bottle with distilled water. I'm gonna try to use distilled water on this terrarium so that I don't get the nasty water spots. So I'm just gonna spray this down to wet the sphagnum. But you know, when you use like regular tap water, I don't know where you live, if the water, like if you have hard water, but where I live, it's pretty hard. So I tend to get really nasty water spots if I don't use distilled water. Now that's pretty like moist. I'm gonna swish it around in there to make sure that the bottom layers also get moist, and spray it down one more time. So now all the moss is very moist, hopefully. I wet the top with distilled water, then kind of flipped it, and then wet the bottom with distilled water, which was then the top, if that makes sense. Now the moss feels pretty moist, which is good. It should be like wet to the touch, but when you squeeze it, no water should come out. That's like the perfect moisture of sphagnum moss. And I do have a couple videos where I've talked about how I root Hoya and how I root other plants in sphagnum moss. So if you want to watch those, I will link them somewhere. But I've never actually done a terrarium like this, so I'm excited to see how this turns out. So now I'm just going to start adding plants to it, or cuttings. Let's see, let's add, I don't remember any of the names. Let's add the Epc04 first. So I'm gonna go ahead, I don't know how best to show you this, and stick it so that the node and the stem are in the moss and the leaf is just sitting on top. Actually, I've decided I'm gonna add more moss to it before I keep going, so I'm taking this out. I'm just gonna add more moss. This is what that's looking like now. This feels better, like a better moss height. I don't know. For some reason, it felt like I needed more moss. Maybe I didn't, but it felt like I did, so. Again, this is my first time making a terrarium like this, so I'm shaking all the moss on my hands and onto the floor. But since it's my first time making a terrarium like this this isn't really a how to make a terrarium. It's more of like, watch me make a terrarium and I'll let you know in a few weeks how it went. So yeah, that's the fun in plant keeping, you know, is like you can just kind of like mess around and do whatever you want and then tell people like that was a good idea or that was a horrible idea, don't do that, you know. So this is my EPC 1001 that is in there. Let's grab the next one. This is my little panchoy. I'm gonna just set this one on top of the moss because this is the top of the cutting, the bottom of the cutting is down here, and it has a tiny little piece. So I'm kind of gonna just set that one on top. And none of this is like a science. I'm just doing what feels right, you know? There's the panchoy. And next, let's see. Let's put in the Pg04. This is another one I'm just gonna kind of stick on top. Pg04. Right there, next to the panchoy. And I'll give you like a look at the whole terrarium once we're done and like where I've laid out all the plants because I'm doing a horrible job of showing you where everything is right now. Next is the Wallineana. That's this fun red one. And I think I'm going to take a similar approach to what I did with the EPC. Oh, but it's hard to know which the top is. No, it's not because the leaves are facing up. Duh. Okay. There's the Wallineana. Right there. And then the last cutting is the Lamonica. Okay. Lamonica's right there. I kind of buried the stem and the node a little bit. I don't know if that's great or not so great. And then now I'm gonna try my best to figure out what to do with the Hoyasipotengensis and the little Croniana. I was thinking about putting them in here, but now I'm second guessing myself because I feel like I'm out of room. But I'm just gonna do it anyways, I think. Yeah, why not? Okay, now my hands are full of perlite, but I got the Croniana Super Silver out. So cute, and it's got some good beefy roots, which is super exciting because my other one, it does not. So now I have hope at having a Croniana Super Silver. I'm like covered in perlite now. So what are your thoughts about Perlite Propagations versus Sphagnum Moss? I'm a little hesitant about perlite, and I have no reason to be hesitant. I've just never done it before. So if you have had good experiences doing Perlite Propagations, do let me know because I'm kind of curious, you know? Maybe I'll give it a try. I don't know. I've heard some people say like, oh, it's the best thing ever, and some people say like every plant that they've propagated in perlite has died. So yeah, I don't know. There is my little Croniana. Oh, there you can see it, super silver. But now my hesitation with the Hoyasipotengensis is that I don't know where I'm gonna fit it in here. I think I'm gonna have to do some rearranging. Yeah, I'm gonna do some quick rearranging and then I will fit it in there. I just moved things a little bit closer to each other over here. I don't know if that's a good or a bad idea. Again, I've never done a terrarium like this, so yell at me in the comments if you think that's a bad idea and I will move them. But now I have some room up here for my Hoyasipotengensis, so now I'm gonna try to, I think it's a couple of different cuttings. I see 1, 2, 3, 4. The roots don't look too crazy, so I'm gonna try to get them out of here and pop them in here. Okay, I got the Hoyasipotengensis out. So there were actually 5 of them. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4, and this little one 5. So I'm going to put them in that little corner and then I'll show you what that looks like. And my little perlite fingers. I don't know, how do you get perlite off? I'm just like shaking it off all over my floor, and now I need to vacuum and I have perlite on my clothes and whatever. I feel like every video that I film that has like perlite anywhere to do with it, I end up like covered in perlite. Throwback to my video from like a year ago of like mixing my own soil, and somehow I ended up with perlite like all over, and I think I like breathed it in and like suffocated a little bit, so I'm a little dramatic when it comes to perlite, apparently. Okay, I got it all in, so now I'm gonna give you a tour of the whole inside of it before I spray it down one more time and then cover it. Okay, so here is the finished product, and don't mind that it's just balancing on my leg while I'm sitting on the floor. Over here we have the Hoyasipotengensis, are all of these. This is the EP1001, Croniana Super Silver, Pg04, Hoya Lamonica, and this bottom one here is the Panchoy. So these are all of my little Hoya in their new little Hoya terrarium, and now I'm going to take them and spray them down with a little bit of my distilled water, just to give it one more little douse of humidity. And then I am going to put the little lid on it. And there's for sure dog hair in there, I can see it. But yeah, that's what that looks like. I'm super excited to watch it grow, watch all of my, you can just see the shadow of me filming, so watch all my plants grow in here, and I'll give you an update as they begin to grow. So that is my finished Hoya terrarium. I am super excited about it and super excited to watch these Hoya grow. I still haven't decided where I'm going to put my terrarium, but I definitely want to put it where it's going to get plenty of light. So maybe I'll find a windowsill, maybe an east-facing windowsill to pop it in. Since it's winter, it won't get a lot of direct light, if any at all. But I will keep you updated on how it grows, and once these plants start to root up, I will probably make another video so that you can see the progress of all of the plants that we put together in this terrarium today. Thank you so much for watching. If you are new here, give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!